The government is doing its best, and I hope eventually our best will be good enough.
President Buhari urges critics to be fair and constructive, calls on communities to embrace peace-building mechanism.
The emblem signifies the remembrance of the fallen heroes.
All set for 2021 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Correspondent X-rays significance of Remembrance emblem. And Monday, January 18 remains resumption date for schools nationwide. Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us on NTA Network News tonight. I'm Joseph Johnson. Jennifer Igwe joins me from Lagos. Let's begin in the State House because President Muhammadu Buhari has called on Nigerians, especially the elite, to be fair in their criticism of his administration. This was while receiving in audience the Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam. State House correspondent Adamu Samba reports that Reverend Pam was in the State House to submit a report on the Commission's peace-building efforts in parts of the country.
I feel that those who are criticizing the administration should be fair in terms of reflecting where we were before we came, where we are now, and what resources were available to us to have done what we did.
President Muhammadu Buhari expressed the conviction that his administration is not leaving anything to chance in his commitment towards meeting genuine public aspirations for the good of all.
You tell me any of the developed countries or the developing countries that succeeded without infrastructure. And the infrastructure are roads, rail, and power. The government is doing its best, and I hope eventually our best will be good enough.
And apart from the numerous achievements recorded in addressing the nation's infrastructure deficit, the federal government, he said, is also not relenting in dismantling obstacles to national security and socio-economic well-being, saying the welfare of the IDPs, for instance, remains paramount on the agenda of government.
I am more inclined to feel very, very sorry for the young, because the rate and the time they are supposed to get education, we must not allow that time to pass, because it will never be regained. So what is happening in the IDPs, we are interested and we are doing our best.
The President commended the Executive Secretary of the Christian Pilgrims Commission on his peace-building efforts around the country and assured him of the listening ear of the government whenever attention is desired to certain issues. Reverend Yakubu Pam had intimated the President with some of the activities of the Commission since his appointment, including the Peace Summit he organized on Southern Kaduna, as well as peace-building initiatives in Plateau, Benue, Taraba and Nasarawa states.
I humbly appreciate Mr. President's vision on peace building, continuous engagement of our local communities in dialogue as a means of resolving dispute will bring about lasting peace in Nigeria as a whole. Perpetrators of crime must be punished and victims must get justice.
Reverend Yakubu Pam announced plans to host Christian religious leaders in a summit as part of efforts by the Commission to, amongst others, help douse pressures within the polity. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Let's turn to security matters now. January 15 is commemorated every year as Armed Forces Remembrance Day. As the milestone is marked this year, it also provides ample opportunity to chronicle current landmark achievements by the Nigerian military in tackling security challenges in the land. Defense correspondent Najata Tijani reports on this security checklist as provided by the presidency.
From highlights of Defense Headquarters coordinated operations in 2020 to projections concerning military operations in 2021, the security checklist proffered by the Presidency on the occasion of Armed Forces Remembrance Day is full of commendation for past victory and expected progress. On internal security, the Presidency says Boko Haram is much weaker today than in 2015, as attested to by the Governor of Borno State, who said, quote, "Today, Bama is coming back to life, and so is Askira Uba, Damboa, Goza, and others. Life is even returning to Baga. This was impossible before Buhari." The Armed Forces of Nigeria, comprising the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, and Nigerian Air Force, from 18 March to December 2020, neutralized 2,403 criminal elements across the country, in addition to scores of other terrorists and armed bandits killed during airstrikes. Equally, 1,910 criminal elements were arrested, and a large cache of arms, ammunition, and equipment were recovered during the period. The military also carried out several missions and operations in the South-South. More than 8 million liters of stolen AGO automated gas oil and more than 33 million liters of dual-purpose kerosene were impounded by troops of Operation Delta Safe and other Nigerian Navy patrols. Troops immobilized a total of 185 illegal refining sites, 85 dugout pits, and more than 100 metal storage tanks within the period. In the southwest, troops of Operation Awasi impounded a total of more than 10 million liters of premium motor spirit, more than 15,000 barrels of stolen crude oil, and 345,000 liters of stolen automated gas oil. In the northeast, the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Adoli in different airstrikes neutralized notorious Boko Haram terrorist commanders. Meanwhile, since 2015, the Nigerian military has continued to achieve success in the northeast. Specifically, the revitalization of the multinational joint task force comprising Nigeria and her neighbors, relocation of the military command and control center to Maiduguri in June 2015. Since then, several towns and villages have been reclaimed from Boko Haram, and thousands of hostages have been freed from terrorist enclaves. And in the projection for 2021 to 2022, the federal government continues to invest heavily in military hardware, including 23 new aircraft which have already been delivered and inducted into service, while another 18 manned aircraft and 8 unmanned combat aerial vehicles are being awaited. This is in addition to attack boats, patrol vessels, armored tanks, and other platforms. The Army established the special mobile strike teams in the northeast, while the Air Force has established and continues to establish new bases in various parts of the northwest and north central. And with the launch of Exercise Temokoyazo on 2nd January 2021, the Nigerian Air Force conducted a joint combat search and rescue special forces and air police canine simulation exercise at Rijana village along Kaduna-Abuja highway. With these achievements, the Presidency says the ground is set for more successes in 2021 and beyond. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Meanwhile, on Friday, January 15, Nigerians will be marking the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Many have been using the Remembrance Day emblem, just like I'm doing right now. But do citizens really understand the significance of acquiring and making use of the emblem? Defense correspondent Tijani investigates.
October 1st heralds Independence Day and the commencement of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem appeal launch, when citizens can be seen wearing the emblem for months until the culmination of the Remembrance Day on January 15th. But do they know its origins and understand its significance?
The emblem, as we are made to understand, is all about our fallen heroes. That is those that have died in the course of duty, serving and securing our nation.
You are not wearing one.
I don't have one, but I want to get one now so that at least to show my support for what they have done and what they are doing at the present.
emblem to raise funds for the fallen heroes. Emblem signifies the remembrance of the fallen heroes, which is our soldiers that fought to bring unity to this country.
Others are not so knowledgeable about it.
I can actually tell because I see people going around with it, but I don't know what it signifies.
I don't.
Can you at least hazard a guess?
I can't recall.
However, for Musa, a native of Kano State who has been selling the emblem for more than 5 years in Abuja, knowledge and sale of the emblem are more than a means to earning a livelihood.
Emblem.
So, kuma menene mahimmancin emblem din?
To muhimmanci suna tunawa da sojoji na bayan da suka mun nan. Na dan wa soja, wani ina soja ne ina army a Kaduna.
What Musa doesn't know, however, is that the tradition of wearing the emblem dates back to 1915, when Canadian poet, soldier and physician Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae penned In Flanders Field as a tribute to soldiers who died in the Belgian War and were buried in Flanders Field. This flower bears a striking resemblance to the Nigerian Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem. However, it is not the flower. It resembles the poppy flower which McCrae based his tribute on, and in soldier folklore, the red color of the flower comes from the blood of soldiers soaking the ground, as the flower is said to have first been noticed around soldiers' graveyards. Since then, the poppy has been adopted as the flower of remembrance for the British and Commonwealth war dead. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Thank you, Najatu. In the meantime, motorists and road users within the Federal Capital Territory are being advised to avoid roads leading to the Federal Secretariat Complex and Eagle Square, as they would be closed to traffic temporarily from Thursday afternoon to Friday 4 p.m. A statement by the Chairman National Planning Committee of the 2021 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, Commodore Wabi, says the decision is to enable security operatives prepare the National Remembrance Arcade for the wreath-laying ceremony. The statement regrets the inconveniences the interim measure would cause motorists and advised them to use alternative routes for their movements. The Defense Media Operations says more than 18 insurgents and bandits have been neutralized as the military sustains its aggressive approach towards the elimination of criminal elements terrorizing parts of the country. Coordinator of the operations, Major General John Enenche, made this known to journalists in Abuja during an update of military engagements across the country. Abubakar Usman Akwanga has more.
At the weekly briefing, the coordinator, Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, reveals that forces of Operation Lafayette Dole Air Component neutralized many bandits, recovered rusted livestock, while few soldiers sustained injury in an encounter with Boko Haram and ISWAP in Kaurana Moda. A major breakthrough in the onslaught of insurgents in Goneri, Goji and Gujba at Alagama village in Sambisa by Operation Torata Kebangu continued with domination of West Theater of Operation. 30 terrorists were killed in another encounter and several equipment and weapons belonging to Boko Haram terrorists destroyed in Yobe State. In North Central, Operation Wild Stroke and Safe Haven neutralized bandits and rescued kidnapped victims in Mararaba Odege in Nasarawa State and apprehended cultists, recovered rustled cattle in Kuru, Plateau State. Operation Delta Safe intercepted and arrested 1,184 of 25 bags of Yaroliva Nitraba fertilizer suspected to be smuggled from Cameroon.
Security is everybody's business, and the general public is a major focus, very, very important in the architecture of security or securing your area or the whole nation at large.
The Nigerian Navy, in collaboration with Forward Operating Base ex-Cravos, conducted anti-crude oil theft operation and discovered 215,000 liters. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Still talking security, the police in Kwara State is hoping to open a new vista of community policing hinged on active public participation to foster crime prevention. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya reports that the Nigeria Police Force Kwara State Command is already meeting with various interest groups in a bid to boost the security architecture in the state.
The change in policing strategy requires a corresponding change in training, focus and methods. This program was therefore organized with the involvement of top police echelon, comprising of retired inspectors general of police, other security agencies, traditional rulers and members of various communities in the state.
We decided that in retirement, we should just not fold our hands. We should come out of our shells and try to redeem the image of this country, to redeem the image of the Nigerian police institution.
We have noticed certain things, but we require some changes in the system of policing.
Criminal activities in the nation has risen to another frightening dimension, which need a pragmatic approach.
Speakers at the sensitization program emphasized that community policing is good for Nigeria, but the police need to demonstrate a positive attitudinal disposition towards the public so as to earn their trust and confidence in crime prevention and control.
Congratulating Mr. President for the community policing initiative. I also specifically commend the police authorities for the efforts to pull through this initiative.
The training created an avenue to call on government at all levels to key into the police reform agenda with emphasis on recruitment, training, welfare, housing and other challenges. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
To stay with us here on NTA Network News, we have plenty more for you when we return.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Helen Paul!
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam. The regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach.
Wow! Now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
The new Lifebuoy hand sanitizers with 70% alcohol will kill 99.9% of germs. Now available in convenient packs. Let us all take responsibility to fight this pandemic together.
This is the Wilson family last week. This is the Wilson family this week. What's changed?
What?
The Wilson family got maximum entertainment for less, and now they're closer than ever. Your family can be too.
How does this work?
With world-class international channels that put the quality back in your quality time.
That's what I'm talking about.
GoTV Max will bring you and your family closer in no time. So upgrade to GoTV Max for only 2,999 naira today. Make you enjoy. GoTV. Love it. Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
dropping 2 points from a winning position last week, Wolverhampton Wanderers will be excited to welcome struggling West Bromwich Albion to the Molineux Stadium. Will West Brom prove an easy 3 points? Find out as Wolverhampton Wanderers take on West Bromwich Albion on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 1 p.m. this Saturday. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Gold.com.
You're still watching NTA Network News with me, Joseph Johnson. The Federal Ministry of Education now maintains that the school resumption date of Monday, 18th January, still remains. A statement from the ministry indicates that the decision was reached after comprehensive meetings with state governors, commissioners of education, proprietors of private schools, and heads of institutions, unions, parents and students associations to appraise the situation. It directs parents and respective institutions to ensure full compliance with COVID-19 protocols, such as compulsory wearing of face masks by all students, teachers and workers. The statement encouraged schools to ensure temperature checks and hand washing facilities at strategic locations, constant supply of water and sanitizers, enforcement of maintenance of social distancing, and suspension of large gatherings such as assembly and visiting days. It also called on other measures including limitations in class sizes and hostel occupancy, availability of functional health clinics with facilities for isolation and transportation of suspected cases to medical facilities, amongst other non-pharmaceutical protocols. The much anticipated electronics ticketing for railway services in the country has kicked off with a test run of Abuja-Kaduna train service route. Oyinaya Kalu Oka was at the Idu station and reports that passengers described the exercise as fresh and exciting.
Chaotic situation at the Idu train station of the Abuja-Kaduna rail as passengers scramble to get tickets. Passengers walking in casually for a ticket, they say, is likened to getting the camel to go through the eye of a needle.
We are suffering. I've been here, I don't even have ticket.
They are not even selling the ticket. I don't know what is happening.
With the kickoff of the test running of the electronic tickets, a visit to the same station was quite confusing, as the usual crowded ticketing section looks different. This is the ticketing section, usually characterized by long queue, rush, struggle, and ticket racketeering. But now with this new system, you can see that there is less queue, less interaction, and ease in getting tickets.
Now, as I came, there was no line. So I think it's a very good improvement.
It has created a new scene in this place.
Very, we cannot even compare before and now.
The ticketing office machine on ground at the train station is said to be efficient, but for the mobile app and web link, passengers are complaining.
I'm not able to sign in using that particular platform, so it's a little bit of an issue now.
It seems like that website is not working well yet.
I want to assure the traveling public that we are putting everything together. Very soon everything will be okay.
The e-ticketing exercise is in 3 phases: the mobile app, the web link, and the ticketing office machine.
These 3 platforms sync together. When you book on the web platform, the seats you see available are the same seat the ticketers at the station see.
The test running exercise is expected to last for a week. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
The federal government says it is poised to ease difficulties and post-harvest losses faced by farmers in the country as it embarks on construction of rural roads to link produce to the markets. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Muhammad Sabona Nunu has also charged contractors handling the projects to speed up implementation. Hawal Salisu reports.
Majority of farmers in rural communities of Nigeria lack access roads for transportation of their farm produce to markets. To ease their sufferings and aid socio-economic development, the federal government embarked on the construction of rural roads across the country. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Muhammad Sabona Nunu, while inspecting the ongoing construction of rural roads that will link 8 communities in Kabo local government area, urged the contractors to mobilize back to site and ensure timely completion of the project as agreed.
We told them what to do, and if they don't do it, then we don't pay them. Simple.
Yaureba expressed satisfaction with the level of progress recorded in similar projects at Tofa and Gorka local government areas. Some of the people in the area thanked the federal government for the gesture.
We really appreciate the effort of Mr. President and his Minister on Agriculture.
The project, when completed, is expected to reduce post-harvest losses and ease access to farmlands by farmers. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
Motorists and commuters along the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria road have commended the federal government for the ease and relief being felt following the rehabilitation of the road. Haruna Muhammad tells us more.
With tens of thousands of vehicles crisscrossing daily to and from various parts of the country, the more than 300-kilometer Abuja-Kaduna-Kano dual carriageway remains strategic, connecting most states of the north and beyond. This accounts for the attention given to it by the Buhari administration, which awarded contracts for its reconstruction. Ume Friday has been plying the road as a commercial vehicle driver in the last 14 years.
From Zuba now coming to Kaduna, at least we have good quality road. Really, the quality of the road now, the thickness is more than what we even expect.
Friday is not alone in his assessment, as other motorists applaud government resolve to reconstruct the road.
Before, the road is a very bad road, but their work they are doing now, the road is very good.
Before, we have more pothole for that road from here to Kano. You can take 5 hours before reach Kano from Kaduna, but now you can take 4 hours.
About the pace of work, for Udeme Friday and his colleagues, it is not how fast but how well.
Most of the time, the problem we have is for that inside the version.
The quality of the road they are doing, the quality is very good, but we are begging them to increase their speed.
The Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano road, we have put the funding into a special vehicle, a presidential infrastructure development fund.
And the joy of commuters is that on completion, they are sure of a road that will stand the test of time. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The Senate Minority Leader, Ayinaya Abaribe, has described the massive infrastructural development by the Rivers State government as unprecedented and life-changing. Senator Abaribe spoke at the inauguration of Isiodu Road in Emohua local government area of the state. Ogedinyekwere reports.
Barely 3 days after Governor Wike inaugurated the Rumuche, Rumakunde and Ohawuse Road in Emohua local government area, the governor has again visited Emohua to inaugurate the Isiodu Road, constructed by the River State government. The deplorable state of the Isiodu Road was a source of worry for the indigents and the commuters. However, all that is in the past now, as the road is now wearing a new look. Governor Wike says good governance is about bringing development to the people. He noted that the construction of Isiodu Road is another fulfillment of his campaign promises to the people of Emohua, adding that the footprints of the River State government can be seen in all the local government areas of the state.
Politics is no longer rhetorics. Politics is no longer come and tell us after voting you abandon the people. Now, politicians are now to be held accountable for every promise they make.
It's not just having money. It is the will to be able to deploy it for the benefit of the people that you have been put in the position to redirect and change their lives.
The Isiodu Road was constructed with good drainage system and will stand the test of time. In Isiodu, Emohua local government area of River State, Ogedinyekwere, NTA News.
Genuine concerns and a rising level of optimism have trailed the pre-census exercise being carried out by the National Population Commission as a strategy towards conducting a population and housing census in Nigeria. Oluseye Adagbo, in our next report, takes a look at some of the challenges hampering the exercise and efforts to meet the mid-2021 completion target.
Demarcators are set to obtain data from this household. With the use of Geographical Information System (IGS-PAD), the data obtained by the demarcators are uploaded online into the cloud, are later downloaded by GIS officers who will reprocess into a digital form and send to the central system domiciled at the headquarters of the National Population Commission in Abuja. Apart from citizens' data, buildings and structures will also be given identification numbers. The process is, however, not without some challenges.
These problems were put in place by INEC. This is an area colonized by a certain group of people, then you remove another area and drop it inside. It became very difficult to draw such a map. We had to go there and let them understand that, look, there are certain criteria you must meet to qualify for a locality area, not sub-locality.
The other area of challenge is security, which is not peculiar to this area alone. And what we did was to engage the support of the community leaders.
The success of the exercise is also dependent on support from key players, especially traditional rulers and community leaders.
It is a lot of improvement over the previous exercises because it will give no room for omission.
Our expectation is that the outcome of this exercise will enable the Commission to come out with reliable data.
With about 260 local government areas already demarcated, getting through to all 774 local government areas nationwide is an Herculean task the censor officers are determined to accomplish. Demarcation of the entire country is expected to end by June this year. Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Now, more than 5,000 women are to benefit from the federal government's cash grant of 20,000 naira each in Kebbi State. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, announced this in Brenin Kebbi at the commencement of the exercise.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadiya Umar Farouk, said the special cash grant for rural women is part of President Muhammadu Buhari's social inclusion and poverty reduction agenda as an effort to the realization of the national aspiration of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. She said 5,200 most vulnerable women will benefit in Kebbi State of 20,000 naira each, and over 150,000 women are expected to benefit from the program in all the 36 states and the FCT.
It is our hope that the beneficiaries of this program will make good use of the opportunity to increase their income, enhance their food security, and contribute towards improving their living standard.
Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, represented by Secretary to Kebbi State Government Alhaji Babale Umar Yawuri, said since inception the conditional cash transfer scheme has lifted thousands of households out of poverty in the state. The governor equally said recently Kebbi State Government has disbursed 30,000 naira each to 350 women of Vegetable Sellers Association as a deliberate effort to complement federal government determination to uplift vulnerable Nigerians out of poverty. Halima Muhammadu, Zainab Aliyu and Hafsatu Wara are some of the beneficiaries who received the grant and expressed gratitude to federal government over the gesture. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has debunked a fake statement making the rounds on the social media of an imminent total lockdown of the country. PTF National Coordinator Dr. Sani Aliyu, in a video message, asked the general public to disregard the fake news.
I'm calling on the general public to please ignore this message and continue with their normal activities. I'm also calling on the public to make sure that you abide by our non-pharmaceutical interventions, including wearing a face mask in public, washing hands, and keeping a physical distance. There's an established way that we send out messages to the public, including declarations when it comes to infection control. So please ignore what's been going around on WhatsApp. Thank you.
And just as COVID-19 poses one of humanity's greatest public health challenges, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the pandemic provides an opportunity to ramp up public health infrastructure in Nigeria, including the training of required experts, while governments, the Vice President said, should be doing more in the area of funding. This was during a virtual meeting with top government officials and a group of Nigerian scientists who have been working on some of the public health dimension of the pandemic. The interaction, which focused on Nigeria's response and the management of the COVID-19, featured presentations by one of Nigeria's leading virologists, Professor Oyewale Tomori, infectious diseases scientist, Professor Philip Onyebujo, and the Director, African Center of Excellence for Genomics of Infectious Diseases, Redeemers University, Professor Christian Happy. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, said the country is expecting about 10 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. This in addition to the 100,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine being expected in the country, noting that both types of vaccine would be received in March 2020. Dr. Ehanire noted that the Federal Ministry of Health, in collaboration with other stakeholders, had already put in place mechanisms for the management of the vaccines. The National Youth Service Corps says adherence to COVID-19 protocol before, during and after orientation exercise is non-negotiable. Director General NYSC Brigadier General Shoaibu Ibrahim was speaking while fielding questions from journalists on the level of preparedness for the next NYSC orientation course, built to commence in less than a week.
According to camp will be tested, and those that are negative are the ones that we allowed into camp. Those that are positive, the NCDC, very capable institution, will always handle and treat them. We have already met with the NCDC where we review the two streams, and I assure you that we are going to have a hitch-free exercise. All that is ready of us is that everybody must take responsibility and play by the rules.
The Yobe State government has received the donation of 3 customized ambulances and 100,000 face masks from Boa Foundation to help the state strengthen its capacity in fighting the second wave of COVID-19 infections. The Director Government Relations, Boa International Limited, Dr. Aliu Idi Hong, handed over the ambulances to Governor Mai Balabuni at Government House in Damaturu.
As Nigeria continued to record more cases in the second wave of COVID-19, efforts have also been stepped up at all levels to contain the spread, and the donation of 3 customized ambulances and 100,000 face masks by Boa Foundation to Yobe State government will assist in cases of emergency occasioned by COVID-19. The representative of the chairman Boa Group, Dr. Aliu Idi Hong, handed over the donation to Governor Mai Balabuni, where he said the Boa Foundation has so far expended more than 8 billion naira to support federal and state governments as well as agencies in the country to fight COVID-19.
Sir Alhaji Abdul Samad, as you all know, is into development and is into humanitarian work through the foundation, sir. So far, the chairman of Boa have donated more than 8 billion worth of support toward the fight against COVID-19 in Nigeria.
I want to use this opportunity to draw the attention of our citizens to adhere strictly to the protocols of the COVID protocols, especially the using of the face mask, because we are now receiving a donation from Boa Foundation and other public spirited fellow citizens.
The donation of the COVID-19 response ambulances and face masks are part of the Boa Foundation support for the prevention of the spread of COVID-19, particularly the resurgence of the second wave. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Works and Housing Minister inspects Airport Link Road in Nigeria's commercial hub. And Jennifer takes it from here. Jennifer.
Thank
Joseph. Now, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing is set to commence repairs on the airport road link bridge after carrying out due integrity tests. Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, while inspecting the damage on one of the pairs of the bridge, gave traders under and along the Ladipo Spare Parts Market Road 2 weeks to vacate or face forceful eviction. Dr. Oguyemi reports.
After the 7th of January tanker explosion, the airport link bridge has been barricaded, but that has not stopped commercial motorcycles from plying the route, despite repeated warnings of the danger of such actions.
You see, as the bridge is spoiled, you see, now they are the bonfire.
Other concerns ranging from non-availability of adequate signs for diversions, as well as illegal trading under the bridge and along the road leading to the Ladipo Spare Part Market, which has been serving as an alternative road, were addressed by the minister.
I have also spoken to the Corps Marshal before today to conduct a detailed investigation into the cause of that accident and also to provide us with reports about the ownership of that truck, because we'll be working with the Office of the Attorney General when the causes of the accident are known. If there is any proven non-compliance with law, we will make an example of this, not only for its criminal purposes, but also to recover the cost of replacing that infrastructure.
The minister also inspected ongoing repairs on the 3rd Mainland Bridge and gave assurance that the project will be completed by February.
That is one of the reasons why I also came to see how far and when this bridge will be open to the public, because this is delaying our work on Falomo Bridge. So we've done some work on Falomo Bridge. We are going to have to close down Falomo Bridge as soon as this is done so that we can also replace the expansion joints there.
The minister also made a stop under Obalende Bridge, which has undergone repairs following similar tanker explosion on the 1st of May 2020. In Lagos, Dotun Oguyemi, NTA News.
And to health, with COVID-19 still ravaged in the world, medical experts insist continuous strengthening of the health sector is necessary to contain the fast-spreading unseen enemy. In this report, Hingino John Adams tells us how the sector fared in 2020 and prospects for 2021.
The year 2020 came with an unforgettable challenge, the coronavirus pandemic. This affected almost all sectors globally, but the impact was felt more in the delivery of healthcare services. The pandemic made key players in the health sector, like Dr. Muina Forora, to redouble their efforts towards contributing positively to the delivery of qualitative healthcare services through research on COVID-19 and innovations that will help in containing the virus.
We also started working on formulating an RNA extraction kit. We tested that as well, and it already works. We were able to, the institute was able to identify or detect COVID-19 using the RNA extraction kit for RNA extraction.
Humanity witnessed a roller coaster ride through 2020. The challenges did not hinder some achievements in the Nigerian health sector, like the country being certified polio-free in August by the World Health Organization.
COVID came and we were able to do our best to tame the scourge, and I think we did reasonably well within the available resources.
2021 is here, and many are hoping that the sector will consolidate on its achievements.
If you study the budget for 2021, you'll see the great amount of money that federal government is pumping into revamping our institutions. For this, we are grateful.
We need to strengthen our private health care systems. We need to look inward, strengthen our supply chain management, work on our essential services, look at solutions and interventions in the context of our African situation.
As Nigerians reminisce about 2020 and hope for a smooth 2021, medical experts are still advocating compliance with COVID-19 preventive protocols. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Now, next on our lineup is a commercial break. I will take it, and after that, the news will continue with Joseph Johnson in Abuja. Stay tuned.
Are you ready for this?
Let me hear you, AJ. Give me some bass.
That good for you?
Nice, AJ.
Just one.
Bring it out.
Just one.
Double it.
Just one. Just one. Just one. I was born hungry for success. It's the Nigerian way. Globe gets it. Champions stay hungry. Oh yeah. Globe gets it big time. One more for sure. Champions go the distance and then go further. Glow, the heart of a champion.
From a winning position last week, Wolverhampton Wanderers will be excited to welcome struggling West Bromwich Albion to the Molineux Stadium. Will West Brom prove an easy 3 points? Find out as Wolverhampton Wanderers take on West Bromwich Albion on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 1 p.m. this Saturday. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Papai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Gold.com.
This is NTA Network News, and we are back in Abuja. Let's head straight to business now, and I have with me in the studio Comfort Amadu to do just that. Comfort, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Joseph.
It's day 14 already in January, and I'm just wondering, where is the place of Nigeria in the Africa's single market trade, really?
Okay, it will interest you to know that Ghana has actually carried out its first export barely 13 days after the single African market started. And Nigeria is ready to follow suit. But of course, you know there are conditions to be met, so that's where we are.
Okay, go ahead, come in.
All right, the start of the Africa Free Trade Agreement, experts say, sends a strong message of Africa's readiness to become a thriving network of commercially active states. The Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Wamkele Mena, who stated this, said under the agreement's framework, Ghana is setting the pace for other countries, as it's one of the 3 countries that has a suite of ready border and customs facilities that meet the Africa's single market trade terms. Now, Egypt and South Africa are also ready to carry out commercially meaningful trade, but Nigeria, the continent's most populous nation and largest economy, is yet to set up meaningful infrastructure. However, conformity to standards is still an issue, and experts say businesses have to adhere
to African free trade. So if their products are not up to standard in Nigeria, most likely they will not be up to standard in Ghana or Rwanda. So then they will have difficulty moving their products across the border, while other countries who keep to standards can easily bring their products into this country legally.
And 54 of the African Union's 55 nations have signed on to the AFCFTA, but only 35 have submitted their instruments of ratification to the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. And in the capital market, stocks maintain a positive posture with investors gaining 325.28 billion naira after the day's trading session. Now the Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index advanced by plus 1.5%. 0.4 rather, to close at 40,963 compared to the plus 0.11% increase recorded previously, with the year-to-date returning now standing at plus 1.72%. And Transcorp, WAPCO and Guarantee were the most active to boost the market turnover. Well, those are some of the developments in the world of business. Joseph.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Comfort. All right, let's move on now. The National Council for Arts and Culture and the National Youth Service Corps are partnering on ways of empowering corps members in the country. This was made known at a meeting in Abuja. Oinaya Kaloka reports.
The National Council for Arts and Culture and the National Youth Service Corps share similar mandates to foster national integration in the country. At the meeting, the Director General NCAC, Olusegun Roshewe, said it is necessary for both organizations to work together. Emphasizing the need for skill acquisitions for the youth, the DG noted that the council has trained more than 2,000 Nigerians in 4 states on different skills.
Our youth involved in drug, sex party, cross-dressing, etc. And if a gentleman like Mala Ibrahim, the DG of NYC, could come to feel the pain and say, look, how do we help the youth? Every country that wants to progress must always think of how to position the youth, who are the leaders of tomorrow.
Director General NYSC Brigadier General Shaibu Ibrahim commended NCAC for its effort in fostering unity through culture, stating that the partnership will go a long way in bringing about development.
So that we can leverage on the experiences of the Arts and Council of Culture, so that we can train some of these corps members, the best that we selected, so that we can train them so that they can enhance their further performances.
The DG, National Council for Arts and Culture, appealed to institutions not to reject corps members posted to them, as both parties agreed to strengthen the relationship in the fight against violence and other vices engaged by the youth. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) and the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria have resolved to work towards the promotion of activities and programs that would promote peace and social cohesion. The renewed commitment is coming on the heels of a visit by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria on the management of the NTA. Charles Alpha reports.
As You Answer the Call is a soul-refreshing program sponsored by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria and transmitted on NTA since 2016. To sustain this partnership, the National Hajj Commission Chairman Zikrullah Kunle Hassan led other officials to interface with NTA management.
Happy to be at the NTA, which we know is a medium that has helped to translate government intentions to the nook and crannies of not just Nigeria but every other part of the world. And we want to say that even the National Hajj Commission have benefited immensely from this.
The Director General NTA Yakubu Ibn Mohammed says NTA always places national interest above any other thing and will continue to support partners with same vision.
Of working hand in hand with other federal government establishments and indeed other organizations, NGOs, civil society organizations that have as their objective the advancement of the cause of Nigeria.
A committee comprising members from both organizations will be set up to consolidate the existing relationship. In Abuja, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Let's bring sports now. Nigeria still in contention at WAFU B Under-17 tournament. Details of this and more with Kene Emma Abudike.
The ongoing WAFU B Under-17 Cup tournament enters semi-finals on Friday, with Nigeria's Golden Eaglet set to take on Burkina Faso at the Stade Gegué, Lomé, Togo at 6 p.m. Recall that the Golden Eaglets were handed a lifeline following Côte d'Ivoire's 3-1 defeat of Black Starlets of Ghana. Meanwhile, the Baby Elephants of Côte d'Ivoire will face Niger Republic in the other semi-final fixture same Friday at 8 p.m. Winners of the semi-finals will battle for the diadem on Wednesday next week at the Stade Gegué and also qualify for the CAF Under-17 Cup of Nations built for March 13 to 31 in Morocco. Still on football, Mauricio Pochettino won the first trophy of his managerial career as Paris Saint-Germain beat Olympique Marseille 2-1 to win the Trophy de Champion in Lens in his third game in charge after being appointed earlier this month. The victory continues PSG's dominance of French football, winning 19 of their past 20 finals in domestic cups and now Trophy de Champions for the 8th year in a row. And in tennis, former world number 1 Andy Murray's participation at the Australian Open is in doubt after the Briton tested positive for coronavirus. The 33-year-old, who remains in quarantine and isolating at home in London, is said to be in good health and hopes he will be allowed to travel safely at a later date and compete as planned. The Australian Open saves off on February 8 at Melbourne Park, 3 weeks later than usual because of the coronavirus pandemic. With sports update, Kenan Ima Abodike, NTA News.
And that's NTA Network News. Thanks for being a part of it. I'm Joseph Johnson. Remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. Good night.